Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Palantir has officially announced a partnership with Microsoft. This is big news if you're a Palantir shareholder, and it's important to understand why they announced this partnership, and important to recognize that this finally completes the trifecta of working with the three biggest cloud players in the world: Google, Amazon, and now Microsoft. They partnered with Amazon back in September 2021, Google back in June of 2022, and now Microsoft January of 2023. Lots to dive in here. Before we get into that, high-level overview for those that just want to understand what the kind of point of this is before we get into the press release. Palantir does not sell cloud computing services. GCP from Google, AWS from Amazon, and Azure from Microsoft do. What are cloud computing services? Basically, businesses have tons of data that they need to store, and they used to do it on physical servers. That changed in 2006 when Amazon said, hey, what if we just put all of that in the cloud and use our warehouses, our facilities to manage all of that so customers don't have to buy physical servers. It became insanely cheaper. My startup pays like $200-300 a month, and we have thousands of pieces of content on my platform that are stored in the cloud. So the costs declined by a factor of 100. And as a result, the innovation that has been created over the past 10 years also increased, because now anyone can start a company, an idea, a business, simply because they don't need to worry about where they're going to store all the data in order to make that company even come alive in the first place. Palantir doesn't sell cloud compute storage. It's a very big business. It's in its infancy, but Google, Microsoft, and Amazon do. Palantir sells an operating system that is platform agnostic, meaning it can work with any of the cloud computing services that exist. The goal of it is to be implemented in the cloud computing services so that you have a better view and understanding of your data, not for them to literally sell compute in order for you to pay them to store their data. Two fundamentally different businesses. Which one will be more valuable in the next 10 years? I don't know, but one could argue that the storage is a commodity that is built from monopolies that have scale, like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, and the actual analysis of data that is platform agnostic probably could be a lot more valuable because it requires a lot more work to be able to get an accurate result with machine learning, AI, etc., versus just hosting it in a storage center, which is why, GCP, Amazon, and Microsoft are always competing with each other, because at the end of the day, they're selling relatively the same product, just with little different features here and there. That's what Palantir sells. Palantir partnering with Microsoft is a way to get Foundry, which is their operating system, into the hands of people that use Microsoft Azure. So let's get into this press release right now, and let's get a little bit deeper into this. Palantir is pleased to partner with Microsoft in making Palantir Foundry available on Microsoft Azure, empowering existing and new customers to more effectively apply data and analytics in their operational decision making. Through this new collaboration, organizations will be able to quickly deploy Palantir Foundry, their ontology-powered operating system for the modern enterprise, as well as being able to unlock further value in Azure data services. So Microsoft also sells something, that is, one could argue in a colloquial sense, similar to Palantir in terms of analyzing data, but it's not what Palantir has created. And that difference is probably why Microsoft decided to make this partnership. They don't have the ability to compete on that level, but the integration of both can probably give their clients the ability to buy more cloud storage from them. As a part of this relationship, our Foundry platform is available on Azure, enabling customers to deploy our software at speed while benefiting from Azure's trusted and secure infrastructure, as well as its global commercial footprint. Available on the marketplace will enable seamlessly purchasing and invoicing, with customers to be able to use their existing Microsoft Azure accounts to purchase a Foundry license and infrastructure costs. So the ability for clients that have access to Microsoft's marketplace, which are in the thousands, to just download Foundry and pay right then and there. That is all integrated within this marketplace. So, if people want the service, it will be very easy to get. Foundry's single view ontology layer can layer on top of Azure data services, where they can then use the investments for faster time to value by better unlocking insights and predicting and simulating outcomes for more data-driven decision-making, which is, again, the entire point of Palantir. President of North America of Microsoft, Deb Cupp, says, "We're pleased to partner with Palantir to bring Foundry to Microsoft Azure. Organizations around the world will be able to make their data more actionable by using Palantir's platform from data-driven operations and decision-making, powered by Azure's cloud-scale analytics and comprehensive AI services." Now, Palantir was the number one company in 2022 in terms of AI sales generated by revenue, or I believe it was 2021. Primarily because they have the best AI suite of services on the planet. Microsoft and what they're doing with ChatGPT, which is running on Microsoft Azure, those AI models are being trained on top of Azure, also is a big player in AI. So it makes sense for them to make this partnership, because they both recognize, well, you're good in AI, I'm good in AI. What if our clients could be even better if they use both of our products together for their AI needs? And that is what probably led, out of many reasons, to the partnership. Better together with Palantir Foundry and Azure Data Services. Our new partnership with Microsoft will also go to see us to market together in joint opportunities across industries like energy, renewables, retail, etc. And then they talk about all these different services. We are also working together to accelerate time to value for customers in these industries and many more by consolidating their SAP and other ERPs, which are Enterprise Resource Planning, I believe that's the correct acronym for that, using Palantir HyperAuto. And this was a product announced back in 2021. Palantir HyperAuto can help customers accelerate their journey on to SAP on Azure and quickly surface insights in just hours. One thing right here, additional Palantir Foundry capabilities that can be deployed at speed via Azure include these from customers like the connected vehicle company Wejo. Wejo is a SPAC that Palantir invested in. Their data comes from over 92 billion vehicle journeys and consists of more than 19.5 trillion data points to data to provide businesses and organizations across a variety of industries the power to innovate, drive growth, and transform. All of that data needs to be stored somewhere. All of that data needs to be built on top of something. And that is where you get something like a Palantir Foundry helping you analyze that data. Wejo is also a strategic partner of Microsoft. So you start to see the synergy between a company like Wejo that is managing billions of pieces of data, working with Foundry to be able to analyze that data, and then building on top of Azure to kind of complete the entire cycle of them being able to deploy a product in real time and get their AI services out there or train their models on AI using Palantir's Foundry and using Microsoft. Now, why is this a big deal? We know that an operating system for data-driven decision-making is going to be something, and I know that's a lot of buzzwords, but it's going to be something that every business needs, just like every business needs to be on the internet. And if it sounds crazy to think that every business needs to know exactly what's happening in their business, from marketing, sales to finances, via a data-driven approach, just think of all the businesses that have not been able to recover because of the pandemic. All the businesses that had their supply chains flipped upside down overnight and had no idea what to do to move forward. In a chaotic world, in a disjointed world, which is what Palantir's CEO Alex Karp talks about, you need to have an understanding of your data at scale from a macro perspective and from a granular perspective. So we know this is a product that companies want. We know companies are saving a lot of money. We know governments are paying Palantir hundreds of millions of dollars per year in order for them to be able to use their services. The question becomes, how do you get this to scale? And Palantir, working with Google, Amazon, and now Microsoft, is just another way to attach themselves to a third party that, by the way, is those three parties are the biggest cloud companies in the world, and they have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, at least in the case of AWS, of partners and clients using them. If you get access, meaning distribution, to that marketplace, and those people now know who you are, they know that you can be integrated, they know it's one click, they download, they can invoice right from the marketplace that they're using, whether it's GCP, Azure, or AWS, that gives you more discovery. So Palantir has to do B2B sales, Palantir has to do marketing, Palantir has to do branding, but at the end of the day, if you're using Microsoft Azure for your business and you're like, I need a better insight on my data, can I just download Foundry on top of this? Can Foundry just be an app that I can download when within that app, it's an app store of a ton of other different services you can download on top of it? And then can I increase the feed and efficiency of my business by a factor of 5-6x over the next couple of years? Am I worth paying them? Is that worth paying for at the end of the day? And I think, that's the interesting thing about Palantir being able to work with some of the big three players. The final point of analysis here is that if these three guys are working with Palantir, it's because they do not consider them a joke. Palantir is one of the only companies to have IL6 level security clearance with the DoD. Microsoft has that. Amazon has that. Both of those are trillion-dollar companies. Palantir is a $14 billion company. Palantir is not being taken lightly by the big guys. If it was, I don't think they would have partnered with them. Also, if they felt that they were direct competition to the point where they wanted to crush their throat, which is what these businesses do, I also don't think they would partner with them. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft working with Palantir means they believe there can be a symbiotic, cohesive relationship with them to actually enable clients to spend more on the cloud, which is what these companies want, because they're getting better services by being integrated within the cloud. And Microsoft knows, hey, if GCP is offering Foundry, and more people are getting value out of Google's cloud versus our cloud because Palantir's on it, well, then why don't we just integrate Palantir on our cloud so that we keep our customers, we don't have them churn, and that we can get more of those customers? And, if there were direct competition, I would imagine that they would be like, nope, we never want to have them because we only want to sell Microsoft's, data operating system, not Palantir's. It doesn't seem like Microsoft is interested or has the time or energy to quite literally copy what Palantir has spent 20 years building. And it's also probably a waste of time because you might have to spend 20 years. And as a result of that, they'd rather just partner with them. So it proves that it's not necessarily direct competition with the big guys. It's more so a partnership. And if that partnership offers a platform that is platform agnostic at the end of the day, you don't need to be on a certain platform to be able to use Foundry, The integration of that should be able to provide more distribution. More distribution should be able to lead to more sales. More sales should be able to expand Foundry. And once the product is in the hands of people and it gets the job done, it is likely not going away. At least that's what we've seen over the past 2 years with companies like Tyson saying, hey, yeah, we're saving $200 million a year. We are never leaving this piece of software. And so as a result of that, I think this is a great partnership for Palantir, great partnership for Microsoft. Excited to see what happens in the future. A bunch of more Palantir news was announced today. FoundryCon, this new Cardinal Health partnership. There's a lot to cover. Palantir Weekly will be tomorrow or Friday night. A lot of stuff to cover. Make sure you're there. Thanks guys so much for listening and watching. Please subscribe to dailypalantir.com. Send the newsletter. Make sure you subscribe. Free email newsletter every single day for Palantir. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.